to jump in. In this last winter, I had a really beautiful experience where I felt really clearly led to teach on what I've been practicing for years around working with the seasons and allowing the seasons to be our teachers. And it's been interesting because all spring, and that information that kind of came all together right at the end of winter, and then all spring I've just been kind of like, excuse me, hey, I'm so willing, and it just felt like I was to wait and trust, which I did. And then right when I was out in Salt Lake, which was several weeks ago, I was given a date in which to share and a lot of components of what I'm going to share a little bit with you all today. And I was reminded in that moment that one of my passions and one of the things I've said from the beginning of my practice and even before I had a formal practice, but just where I would feel most of use to people is in major transitions and transformations. That's the work that I want to do. That's the work I'm here to facilitate and to be with. And so this poignancy for me personally was back to that original design of who I am, and what I'm here for is to walk with and to be with a support to people in transformations and transitions and transformations. So it kind of occurred to me, oh, well, of course I'm not getting the messaging right there at the beginning of the season. It's these transitions between seasons, and that just felt like a really precious reassurance to myself of listening. And then I was continuing to listen, and the first piece that came down was, "You will know the tree by its fruit." And I've sat with that for a while. It's a phrase that I'm familiar with. Christ spoke that. "You will know the tree by its fruit." And so I just have been pondering that for a while, and one of the things I wanted to share about was so often we are laser focused in either what's wrong with right now, what we're trying to control right now, or we move into a manifestation trend of, okay, what do we want in our future? What do we want in our future? Who do we want to become? And we all ask ourselves these questions of, who am I? What am I here for? What is all this? What do I desire? What is my highest and best use? What are my gifts? And we put it all out there in some future state, and this, "you will know the tree by its fruit," just struck a deep place within me to say, wait a minute, this is a season of fruitings, and we need to see what kind of trees we are and what we're producing, and are we truly willing to turn the eye of wisdom and discernment to ourselves and the fruit that's currently on our trees, and how that manifests in our spiritual walk, how that manifests in our relationships, in our bank accounts, in what you're actually doing with your time and attention throughout the day. Your spiritual currency is time and attention. And get really honest, because whatever it is that's on our branches today is the fruit and the manifestation of every prayer and every action and every thought you've prayed up until this point. And we have to be honest with ourselves. Is it what we want to be producing? Is it good fruit? Because also, as Christ said, if a good tree cannot produce bitter fruit, and a rotten tree can't produce good fruit, so we need to really get serious and be willing to look with the eye of discernment and truth at ourselves. And so unlike most of the times when I go live or share anything on here, I kind of just am going from whatever's coming up in the moment. But this came through as a solid piece, all in a linear piece, and it came through in a few different components, and then I sat down and began writing, and it all just kind of flowed out. So what I'm going to do is kind I'm going to read to you. I'm going to guide you, if you're willing to participate, through kind of a meditation, a visualization. And if you can, you might want to grab a piece of paper and a pen, because I'm going to have a few moments of contemplation as well. And I'm going to give you a few pieces in throughout the meditation where we're going to bring a little bit of energy medicine component into it to activate certain points of the body. For instance, we're going to tap on cheekbones, which is all about balancing the stomach meridian and how its component between worry and trust moves energy in the body. So I'm going to bring in a few pieces, but I'm really not going to teach about what those movements are doing, because I love to nerd out on the science of it, but it's more to just facilitate dropping in deeper and deeper and deeper, and to work with that fundamental energy of the body as we do this practice. So you can just trust that it's got a lot of good reasons, and I might nerd out on it at a later time, but I want us to just kind of go through this more as a devotional practice today. So we're going to start with just getting in your seat. Place your hands on your thighs or on your knees and take a deep breath in. And as you inhale, scoop your hands up over your head to prayer. Hold at the top and hold your breath. And then wherever you feel some tension in your body, release that breath. Hold. And release. And we'll release one right into the earth. And we're going to move into this imagery. Step into this imagery for a moment with me as your life represented by a tree. And allow that tree archetype to kind of play through and embody whatever that means for you. So for some people it might, I'll start you with some sparks, but allow it to just form on its own. So your branches might be reaching up into heavenward and your roots deep into earth, and those might represent the physical and non-physical of the sky, or it might be the conscious and unconscious. But for right now, just let it be whatever it is for you and your definitions. And let's just take a moment and move the body and imagine with this imagery of a tree will be our teacher for a few moments. Feel into the lower half of your body. Take your hands and massage your pelvis, your hips, your knees, your calves, your feet, giving each toe a gentle squeeze. Do it together. If you happen to have a stainless steel spoon with you, you can spoon the bottom of your feet right now. And imagine as you touch your bottom half of your body that you're aligning your true north and your true south, coming into alignment. Roots sinking deep and spreading wide. Connecting here. The sisters and brothers that are here right now. Maybe the ones in the next room. Your powerful roots finding their way to water and sustenance. Finally connecting truly, deeply to Mother Earth. Feeling her support, embracing you. Imagine the electromagnetic field attached to your feet expanding. Send it 5 feet deeper, 7 feet, 15 feet, into the earth and out on all sides. And as you expand those roots, notice how they must, at the very minimum, expand to the height and the breadth of your branches. And as they do so, notice how they begin to connect with the others around you. You might here play with awareness of your relationships between the others in your grove. Notice how your roots intertwine or don't. The synergy of resonance or perhaps dissonance in your roots or your branches with your neighbors. Here we are at the beginning of a new season. And while we love to glory in the stunning beauty of our branches full of blossoms, we must allow our petals to fall, allowing them to nourish the earth with the fallen blooms and release the fragrance. Take for a moment your breath. Imagine just beginning to release any blooms that are still hanging on from spring. And then moving your fingertips to the cheekbones, begin to tap here, releasing any specific things you might be worried about. And imagine that they fall like released petals trickling down the front line of the body and off the second toe and onto the earth. It's time now to devote our energy to the developing fruit that has appeared at the center of each blossom, nourishing the fruit from within. And as we move into that imagery of bringing and aligning the nourishment from within to direct it into the fruits, I want you to, you're going to cross one knee over the other and then one hand over the other and twist in like this. And just take a moment here to rock your root and really squeeze into the body. Pull yourself in and feel the direction of the chi or your soul's energy, directing it toward the fruit that you have on your branches. And then do the other side. Imagine through your intention those fruits getting just a little juicier. Who am I? What am I here to contribute to the earth? What do I really want? What is my highest and best use? How? Am I living a meaningful life? And if I'm not, how do I? We've all asked these questions, and the answers are here. They're here on your very branches. The summer is the season for fruit. Fruit becomes visible only after the petals of the bloom have fallen, giving way to reveal the nourishment to come, ripening for harvest. Our branches reach with the promise of fruit. And now notice, turn your attention to noticing for a moment the variety of fruit on your branches. This is the fruit that has long been developing. This is the fruit of seeds you've planted maybe long ago, maybe last year, maybe just in the last moon cycle. But your evidence is here. Notice without judgment for a moment if the fruit on your branches is the variety that you expected it to be, or that you even want to cultivate. We often spend so much time looking to the future and dreaming and visualizing and creating a future state and forget that the fruit, the evidence, is here in this present moment. This moment, us gathering here, your home, your relationships are the fruit of every prayer and every thought of your life. So take a moment and give some gratitude and some honor for how powerful you are, and honor the beauty and the nourishment that you have cultivated. And now, with the eye of wisdom, take note. Is this fruit a variety that you want to continue to produce? Are your branches strong enough to carry the load? Are there branches that need pruning or maybe need tying up for support? Does wisdom call you to cull the fruit, allowing some to drop to the ground to nourish the land movers or the furry things? Does wisdom's discerning eye guide you to graft in a new variety? Or to cut away a rotten branch weak from decay or overuse? Allow wisdom and discernment to lovingly guide your care. What is the tool that is most needed right now? Is it the comfort of a layer of mulch? Is it a stake or some twine for support? Is it fertilizer and nutrients that you're missing? Is it a blade? Or is it maybe twinkle lights and some ribbon? Maybe a picnic blanket beneath your branches? A gathering place? Or maybe it's a combination. Take a moment to feel into the truth that you've seen. Breathe into your belly, feeling the fullness. The fruit of your tree will nourish your own belly. Your fruit will nourish your tribe and the tiniest creatures of nature. And nothing you have produced will be wasted. Take your arms out over your head and begin to stretch them heavenward, feeling for a moment the fullness and expansion, allowing even the idea of celebration through this solstice time to come through. And what we're going to do for a moment is, if you're welcome to stand. I can't stand and teach, so you're going to take your hands like this, put your hands in prayer, and then create this angle. And you're going to go one hand up and over, bending the side body, connecting with heaven and earth, bringing it to heart center. Other side, bringing it to heart center, stretching up above and down below, gathering yourself inward while also expanding. And then take your hands and kind of, if you can imagine this tree moving in the wind and having long branches able to lift and nourish the field around it, imagine for a moment that you can light up the space around you and expand that bubble of light. And then taking your hands from your pubic bone up to the bottom lip, zip yourself in here. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It will move you forward. You will know the next right step as you need it. And now from the tailbone up the back side of the body to the upper lip. Twice more. Stepping into sovereignty of direction in your life. And now put your fingers into your belly button and one at the third eye, pressing in, pulling up. You can take a moment here to make note. You can write it down for a moment if you want to, just noticing what were the messages you received. What's the fruit that you're carrying? What's the fruit your life has produced up to this point? What are the tools to care for your tree that are most beneficial for you right now? How does all this make you feel? In this moment, does your heart feel full and celebratory, or is there more heartache or heartbreak? Summer is, in Chinese medicine, it is the fire element, and within the fire element there is heart, small intestine meridian, circulation sex or pericardium, and triple warmer. And so I want to take a moment to teach a little bit about each of those. The fire element, as far as the emotions go, summer is intended to highlight, shine a big light on what is. Those are going to be areas that are heartful and feels like joy and expansion and expression and big sun. It's also time for the sun to bake away and show and reveal where are the cracks and crevices. And when it's healthy and everything's in balance, it's going to feel like heart full of joy. When it's not, we end up using these other pieces and they can move out of balance. So heart's partner is the small intestine meridian, and when we look at the small intestine energetically, it moves like if you were to imagine the heart is the empress or the emperor, and pericardium is this muscle around the heart, and that's a whole nother system, and she is the heart protector. She is an element of peace and calm. It is a powerful muscle that is the very last muscle in the body to lose electricity in death. It's literally it is the heart protector. It's the throne room of the heart. And then just outside the throne room is small intestine, and she acts as a secretary. She acts as the person to say who gets to come and go from the throne room, who gets priority. And then we have triple warmer. Triple warmer is the guard outside the gate, scanning the horizon for all potential dangers and worries, and can really hog a lot of electricity or voltage from heart. So if we look at the hierarchy here, all those roles are needed in summer. But I encourage you to notice which one maybe has more voltage right now in your life. Is it your heart protector? If she's out of balance, that pericardium's out of balance, it feels like moving from peace and calm and at ease to hysteria. Those moments where you go like, everything's good, to like, what just happened? I feel hysterical. Those notes, if you can imagine a string gets strummed through deep fear to protect the heart. And then we have triple warmer, who's this very masculine, protective energy that is so important. But in our day and age, that doesn't necessarily look like a tiger. It might look a little bit more like a phone bill, or little triggers here and there throughout the day. Without being able to move that energy through, it then begins to take energy to run its electric fence that's there to protect you. So while its intention is wonderful, if the heart protector or the guard have all of the voltage rather than heart, we can see where we move into protection or fear as opposed to heart full and expanded and safe. So just notice that for a moment, where on the balance are you feeling that? I'm in a beautiful place, and it's one of the most holy places for me. A lot of you have asked where I am. I'm on a little island called Dog Island in the Gulf of Mexico in North Florida, and it's a very holy, sacred place for me. This is a really special place I grew up coming to, and one that I feel deep intimacy with the land and the water and the Creator, and the voice is so here. And I noticed when I got here, I laid down with Noelle and we took a long nap, and as I woke up from that nap, I felt in my body, from my root, from my feet, from my tailbone, and my lower half of my body just felt like a hard wire being unwound. And a level of peace and calm that I experienced in my physical body that I didn't even know was missing was so profound. And this is a place that I feel very, very, very safe in. And so as I've been here, it's also been a lot of anniversary days. I'm coming up on a year since Becca's accident, and this yesterday was 2 days ago was my brother's anniversary of his death 4 years ago, and it's been a sweet visit, allowing some things to come up, but also a realignment of my heart because it feels so safe in my physicality. So not all of us can run off to an island right now, but I encourage you to tune into your desire for that. As I shared that with you, is that something that you are longing for and don't feel like you have right now? Or is that something you're relating to? And just tune in with the level of peace and calm and security that your heart feels right now. And take note when we look at this archetype of the tree in the story here is what is needed. What's needed right now for you to give yourself space for that. Because in the summer, it's the season to really nourish heart, to experience the sun, to expand and nourish the fruit that's on our branches and prepare for harvest. And then we repeat, right? This whole journey, every piece is so powerful. And for me, we all love, especially if you get to live in a place of seasons, like spring is just breathtaking, but without the petals falling, the fruit can't appear. And so to just trust where you are right now and align yourself. I am going to be traveling quite a bit over the next few weeks until the end of January, into the end of July. And so I'm really playing with this week, really deeply resting and only coming on here and only meeting with people as feels extremely aligned. And then for the rest of the summer, I've got a few morning sessions, only distance at this point. And I'd love to offer some mini sessions right now in the midst of this transition. So when you click on my website and you want to book a session, there's one called Seasonal Mini Sessions. And in them, I love to work with people specifically where their bodies are manifesting the transition emotionally, physically, spiritually for this season transition and how we can be aware of that. So I'm offering a few of those over the next month if you want. I'd love to see you there. And otherwise, I'll just pop in and out as I feel there's fruit to be shared. I'm not going to be just jumping on. I feel like I know right now it's to be in integrity. It needs to be fully ripened fruit. I don't want to give you green fruit right now. Never. But you know what I mean? It's just to be in integrity right now. It feels so important to only offer what's ripe. So that's what I promise to do my best to do. And I will also follow this up with maybe a little energy medicine specific to the season, but only when that's ripened in me. I haven't gotten it fully down yet, so I'm not going to force it. Any of you have any thoughts or questions? I know we have a couple people still here, but I'd love to support you. Anything in specific that feels like needs to come up, or anything that you felt in the meditation was helpful. And if not, that's beautiful. I hope you're all having the best day, and just get outside, even if it's hot. Allow the body to sweat and move out some toxins and feel the heat, and continue to tend your tree in your gardens. And happy to hysteria resonates. Yeah, me too. The hysteria can just really kick in, especially in this season as there's a lot of heat. So it can be like, it's almost like that feeling, isn't it, where you are outside and you're like, ooh, the sun feels so good, and then all of a sudden you realize you just fried your butt. You just fried. That happened to me this year. That's pretty rare for me to fry, and I fried myself. But those lines can be so subtle, and here we are, and we go from one moment to the next. And so if you're feeling that more hysteria feeling, I'd love for you to really connect to your that throne room around the heart, which is pericardium, and just feel her for a minute. Really get into that, and you can do some massage points around your heart, and just honor that. Honor that. Maybe get out of the sun a little bit, or tend to your garden. Ask yourself why, and don't be afraid to use discernment. It's important right now that we're all using wisdom and discernment. It's not for ourselves right now. All my love, y'all. Have the best day.